way to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their star is there. And these are things that we got to be standing to be on patriots. You have to stand first on the side of the law because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to stick to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I am hoping that they are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I am hoping that will not continue in that vein. But I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because they are agents, they are demons at the doors of this country that are willing to put this country back into a bloodshed.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said it. He said, when you run for one term, he himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I am hoping, believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said it. He said, when you run for one term, he himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no.
Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give up the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give us the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give us the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I'm hoping that will not continue in that vein. But I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baga will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because they are agents, they are demons at the doors of this country that are willing to put this country back into a bloodshed.
The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. And will win. And I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? And will win. And I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. He old. He take Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. And will win. And I could be doing a job for you as president. The Omer is old. He take to produce vice president for our prayer. We have to the man. The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. He will win. And I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy him paper. This man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because I'm rich. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he said, I agree with you. 2023, no.
Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give us the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give us the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Before we conclude journey today, we are citizens. If there is one way that our country is safe, we cannot protest in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on operation or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you have to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong, it's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project. promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
We are in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Instead of the government trying to mend fences, they are exacerbating the problem. Yet they are blame shifting. What an irony. We've got some dollars to give you. Start playing the King's Cash giveaway. Die star 799 star 100 hash. Play with 200 Liberian dollars. Or $1.50 US. Alex, that's Alex Wulanyo. You are on. Good to have you on. Pastor Melvin Destin Harvest Power, you are on also. Good to have you on from the United States of America. Asata M. Miller, you are on from your usual Abbott red light. And you say good to be on the show. Good to have you on. There's Berian A. Walker. You are on, my dear Southeastern sister. I started to remember of the show. Duarte, you are on. Good to have you on. Hope that you are faring well from where you are. Minnesota, the United States of America. Musa A. Sharif, you are on from Sophie Community, Congo Town. William Massaquet from Pennsylvania, the United States. Heron T. Todd Jr. From Caldwell, your residents. Ansu Coleman from the headquarters of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. Diana Dennett from Manhattan, New York. You are on and you say thanks for the show. Thanks for coming on too. Otto, you are on from Freeport. Southeastern sister, Claudie Allison, you are on too. That's good. Good to see you from Delaware, the United States. Clarence Dwyer from your hustle ground, as usual. Princess El Pidet from Ganta City, Nimba County, District 6. Maxwell Yimpam, Ralph Cooper from Colorado, Denver, the United States. Patience J from your home. Juje Wanwe, you are also on. Jackson Pony of Iron Factory. The entire Block 13 Intellectual Center is on. Okay. You are there with the rest of the guys, including the chairman of the Intellectual Center, Romancio Latupan, or Cannonball, as he's widely known in the district. Good to have all of you on. Tobasi, you are on. Good. My dear John brother Stephen Coker, you are on from Pennsylvania, the United States of America. Good to have all of you on. Just can call all of the names because they are flowing down like a river flowing. Gabriel Ma and family, you people are watching and listening at your residence. Good to have you people on. It's good to have us in your homes, in your cars, in your office, walking by line, wherever. We can appreciate you people more. We are trying the best we can. It is not easy in this time we find ourselves in. It is just like being in the time of Emperor Nero, Emperor Demetia, Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus, all of those people, Hitler, you just go and name them. All of those despotic and tyrannical rulers, their reigns, characteristics of the reigns, in this time we are battling. It is not easy in this country. Start playing the King's Cash giveaway. It is your morning. Take it. Dial star 799 star 100 hatch, hit the jackpot, and you have your 10,000. You know what it means to have 10,000 Liberian dollars in this economy of Nebuchadnezzar. I can tell you more. You know, you're saying it, you're feeling it. Everybody is feeling the pinch of it. The economy is bad. Nothing is working. Everything is upside down. Threats all over the place. The country is just getting higher by the day. But in the midst of the crisis which we have, we try to make you to maintain your life. God first, we second. So you take it by just playing 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50 US, and then you can have your 10,000 by dialing *799 *100 hatch. That's all. Let's get started. I can't lay my hands on it, but this is what I want you to do wherever you are. From last night, it's just dropped in my spirit, and I think I shared that with some friends. Listening to Teacher Light or AB giving the legal breakdown, and at the close of it, he will talk about the threat, the fear, intimidation. When I say threat, I mean he was referencing the call by the Chief Justice for enhanced or beef up security, not only for her, but all the associate justices of the Supreme Court. No one will call for security if they have not had or since anything insecure. They wouldn't. By their stature, they ought to have security. They have security. But she is, or she called for enhanced or beef up security. That means if the Chief Justice had 2 police officers, she would need additional 2 or 3, and not only to move with her wherever she goes, but also her house, her family. Nobody will call for that if things are normal. People, things are not normal in this country. It is not normal. We just hoping and praying and asking God's intervention. But things aren't normal in this country. Nobody ever thought the atmosphere would have been like this. Even most of the members of the rescue mission, they too are speechless with the promises they made. The country is in tatters. So I appeal to you, wherever you are, and spare your location, whatever, please pray for the Chief Justice. Bring them in your prayer, the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia. We are told by God that we should pray for everyone in authority, lifting up holy hands. Please pray for the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court. Since 1822 to 1847, up to 2023, governments in the past, not a single Chief Justice or Associate Justice or a judge or lawyer will cry for security. This is the first government under the well-educated, rule of law expert, Joseph Yuma Boakai. I beg you all, please bring them in your prayers every day. The face a terrible time. It is not easy. All is not well with them. They have this tax before them. They are racing against time. They are between the rock and the hard place, and no better you can do for them but praying for them. I beg you all. It is not easy. It is not easy. They are between twist and turn. They are between the two worlds. The two worlds. They are between the two worlds. They are in the Red Sea. They are faced with against or several giants. So you want to pray for them. I beg you, please. Couple of things to talk about, and then we are out. The United States government will give a hint. The United States government today, they gave a hint. It is not exclusively Liberia, but just a caution to people who are traveling to the United States, those who got the desire to travel to the United States, be it family member, politician, government official, journalist, medical doctor or practitioner, military person, paramilitary, business, whatever your status. Yeah, what the spokesperson of the United States Department said. If you are going to the United States, or really the argument could be to any other country, follow the law, behave yourselves, be a good visitor, and you will be fine. Did you get that? Hear what Tammy Bruce said. If you are going to the United States, or really the argument could be to any other country, follow the law, behave yourselves, be a good visitor, and you will be fine. Just a caution. I do not know whether we are factored into that. Liberians, those who are at the helm of decision making, I do not know whether it is a direct stuff to Liberia, but what I do know literally is a caution to every individual. It is a caution to every individual all around the world. It is not a warning exclusively to Liberia. People in neighboring countries and other parts of the world that the United States has linked, they've received this. It is not exclusively. This is not a warning to the Liberian government. Do not understand it that way. But like the saying, it's a hint to a wise is quite sufficient. And then another thing before we move on, the Independent National Commission on Human Rights. The Independent National Commission on Human Rights today will give a definitive position about the happenings within this government. And they will talk about several human rights abuses. Several human rights abuses. They are trouble, according to them, over the increase in human rights violations in 2024, where we are right now, under the government of Joseph Yema Boakai, the Independent Human Rights Commission of Liberia. In essence, they said from the beginning till now, there have been several wanton human rights violations by this government. They've cataloged all of those human rights violations and gross abuses. We will share them with you with the passage of time. Just to give you a hint, I want to all right. So that what they released today. Let's see how they will go about with it. But they released their human rights report highlighting several gross human rights violations the government of Joseph Yema Boakai. Yeah. All right. So that will be doing it for that. Then the dissatisfaction continue to increase amongst partisans of Unity Party. The dissatisfaction is growing every day, every day, every day, every day. There were 2 protests today. One at the headquarters of the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation. They had gone with their protest that they fought for this government. They were promised along the way, they completed the tax, and since the ascendancy of Joseph Yema Boakai, they have not been spoken to. They have not been told anything whatsoever. So they decided that they've needed to move because they have sat for too long. Continue playing the King's Cash giveaway. Hit the jackpot. It is you that can hit. Play as many times as you can. You can never tell. Dial *799 *100 hatch. Play with 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50 US. As many times as you play, there is every likelihood that you will win your 10,000. Today is Thursday. We're giving you that 10,000 in this bad economy of Joseph Yema Boakai. So they were at the headquarters of the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation. Let's see, we can share excerpt with you on that. This is one of them.
How can it go? We should live. And then we ask them, say, but how we living? We live our benefit. So the only thing they told they say, you want to be, or you should be on the stand back. If anything, we'll get to your. Actually, we've been protecting the president due to the election, and after the inauguration, we all were protecting the president in the president year. But I wish that after inauguration, the state came over. How can it go? We should live. And then we ask them, say, but how we living? We live our benefit. So the only thing they told they say, you want to be, or you should be on the stand back. If anything, we'll get to your leaders, your hair, and then they will reach out to you. But since then, up to present, we're not doing nothing. We jobless, we lost everything. 1 year plus.
Okay, so people would like to know after this, what your next action from here?
Actually, I'm having action. The only thing I'm playing President Boakai to come out here, to stay in our job, to see our commitment, to see our commitment to the services that we need to him.
Thank you.
And nothing come out. Time doesn't know to anything. Time to do anything. All our money got messy. All our God mercy, our brother lost the person. So they took over. We have been suffering, we have been coming, not at all, right on our knees, eating, taking pay on the world to the brother. Jeremiah could please, as he going like today, yet this 2029 is coming. 2029 is coming. We will be there again to support you people. The picture will give us joy to do. They'll give us joy. We've a home. And I'm going to say, I'm regretting no joke. Okay.
So that's it. Hey man, the guy end up crying. You heard him that he is regretting why he risked his life, why he came out, why he did that for Joseph Yeman Boakai. In essence, they were fooled, they were lied to, they were betrayed, they were used, and now the only thing they can get in return is no attention. Too bad. They end up crying. But you see, that what unfolded today. And then the next one was at the president's house. They took the protest to President Joseph Yeman Boakai's house. The same were drawing his attention of neglect. They assembled at his house with their placards, drawing the president's attention to his neglect of them, that they've supported the party. They did everything they could. They brought Bouakai to power. Bouakai promised he was going to give them job. 1 year on, 40 months on, nothing is happening. They're sitting, doing nothing, just hustling on people for survival. Yet they have a government that they won against, the Congress of Democratic Change. And the embarrassing part, they're not crying because they ought to cry, but they shame because they felt that their government was never going to treat them like this. Yesterday, they said that we are in seditions, and all of his government officials plunged the country into XYZ. Now the country was rescued. They rescued the country. Instead, the country gone back into a retrogressive state. Protests all over the place. It was very pathetic today. Very, very pathetic. That will be doing it for that. Keep playing the King's Cash giveaway. It is not easy, people. I can only appeal to you to play and get your money and keep safe and reserve something, because you can tell we are on the brink. It is not easy. You're listening. It is not easy. You know, those of us in this country, we know. Those of you out of this country, some of you are aware because you're following the developments on a daily basis. It is not easy. We are on the brink of collapse. Nothing absolutely is happening in this country. Nothing. Only God now. The center is no longer holding, governance-wise. Everything is upside down. Instead of the government owning up to its negligence, they are still shifting blame on the opposition. They are still shifting blame on the opposition. When the president should be taking full responsibility, what they are doing to him still is they are taking him from one launching ceremony to another launching ceremony. So he has become the launching president now. They stay giving excuses here and there. So that what unfolded today. That's what unfolded. Yeah. Let's take this break. I want to get something and then we move on. Let's take this break. Then we'll move on. Hold on, we're getting yeah, okay, I have it. I get it.
If he gets ready to reach out, I'm ready to reach out to him. His brother. So I show my hand with the man. The man, they shaking hands. Now the man, they will not slap me. This is common sense. The first thing, I should not vote to wait for president. I'm the sitting vice president. President, common citizen of president. When I'm driving, going to work, we are packed. So we're not equal. I'm the sitting vice president. When you are president, you're coming with pack. And when they're not there, on the courtesy, you come to sympathize with us. The president, we were never on the schedule. Madam Salim called and said to me she was coming and she wanted me. I've gone to the program, to the home where Madam Salim coming to sympathize. She came, former president, the mother, elderly woman. I decided to go with her because Madam Salim, I'm a grandson. I can't be sitting there and say I'm vice president and the former president is one. So I got her and went to her car. She came out from the car, shook her head, I walked with her, and she took a seat. Right after Madam Salim took a seat, then my protocol announced to me that president, we have a very close team. If I don't go for any post, they would have been went for only Madam Salim. He didn't go for President Weah. He's a big brother too. I said, okay, when he comes, stay. So when I even talk, President Weah was there. I went to his door to receive him. Stood up, opened the door. I said, Mr. President, how you doing, sir? I put his head on his chest. No problem. But Koga was there. Koga is a first cousin to Prince Joseph. We have come to see him. Koga showed his hand. He left it. I thought maybe the son have issue and he was shaking his fun. But he went on the wall and shook everybody. And met Minister Kura. He didn't shake his hand too. So Koga pushed him and said, so only our hand began shake, and and he came in a mood like he angry with people. My brother, you be angry was wrong because waiting my brain put it onto our.
Thank you for the understanding. So that's it. That will be doing it for that. That will be doing it. Please pray for the Chief Justice, Shannon Yo, the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia. They are in a terrible situation between the wall and the hard place, between the rock and the hard place. Please pray for them. Bring them in your prayers. God will listen to you and protect them. But God has his hedge around them. But from a human perspective, we all have to, because that is the instruction given by God. Yeah, please pray for them. It's not easy. Psychologically, they are down. They try to keep themselves intact individually, but it is just not easy. And then protests all over the place. All right. So let's talk this one, and then we can get your say, and then we move on. As you keep playing the King's Cash giveaway, 10,000 we giving today. Play as many times as you can. Dial star 799 star 100 hash. Play with 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50. I beg you, it is bad. I'm not begging you because we have so much money. We don't have money yet to give you, but we use innovation. I'm begging you because of the bad state of this country. How bad, of how terrible. If you don't have the mark of Unity Party, you can survive. And if you don't take the mark off Unity Party, all right. So let's talk this one, and then we move on. Who wants to, according to Representative Marvin Cole, he said people are putting pressure. Though he stopped short of referencing those people or place or places, but he said they are putting pressure on the old man to give up the ghost. The expression give up the ghost is a euphemism for death. There are several expressions or several euphemisms you can use, and people use that every day and say, oh, he has gone to rest. He has taken his sleep with the Lord. He has gone to be with the Lord. He kicked the bucket, and on and on. All of those expressions, that's what they refer to as euphemism. It's a figurative expression referencing a reality, but the person, or you're just not literal. So he said that they are putting pressure on the old man to give up the ghost. But he did not say whether there are people within the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. Let's have a listen to him.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Now, this is not to overlook. It is not something to overlook. It borders on the life safety of our president. This statement was made not by a child, but a grown-up man who is within the legislature, close to everything, the crust of politics. For a person of his stature to come out to say what he said publicly means he must have gotten or have a real knowledge of what is unfolding. Maybe within the executive, the judiciary, the legislature, or other place. Listen to him. He said they are believing to put more pressure. More pressure is an expression for there is ongoing pressure, but it seems it's not too high, so they will try to increase it.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
You will consider that a lekotoge. The Chief Justice reaction was referred to as lekotok. So you refer to Representative Marvin Cole expression as lekotok. This is serious. So who? Marvin Cole needs to tell us, this is very important. We know that the president has aged. He's in his 80s, but the presidency also the presidency goes with pressure. It is not easy to be president. It's not anything like a walk in the park. No, managing an institution it's not easy. Just one room office is not easy where you get 2-3 persons. Least to say if you have an office of 25, 30, 40, or 50 persons, the burden to manage those 50 persons with everything associated with the existence of that office is not easy. And I should tell you, nothing on this earth is easy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing is easy. Then you have a man managing 5.4 million people. It goes with so much pressure and responsibility. The weight is on you. The presidency by itself, it has so much pressure. Then Marvin Cole will tell us that there are people who are putting more pressure on the president to give up the ghost. Who you think is trying to do that. Who wants to get rid of the president? He said so they will assume the presidency.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give out the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
So who now? That who that's so Marvin Cole, where they are, they in the executive, they undermining Boakai, they're doing some things, they're putting more pressure on him, they want him to go ahead of time so that they will take over. What I know, it's not what we are seeing either. It's not King Stephen's position, it's Marvin Cole. Marvin Cole is a representative, a newsmaker. Any part of the world, people, media institutions will take interest in this because it's strong. It makes the headlines. It worth talk show discussion. And the president is the chief newsmaker. So if somebody is attributing something, though an insinuation or allegation, whatever, given the nature of the presidency, it catches every media institution's attention. So Marvin Cole, this is Marvin Cole's revelation. He consciously said that they're putting more pressure. He stopped short of calling names. So who are the they that putting pressure on the president? They want the president to go ahead of time so that they will take over because they want to be president. Who are they?
Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give out the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Now, let me tell you, I only highlighting it because I want you to know, but under no condition that this man will ever give him attention. And it's not that we are elevating his argument. No, when I share it with you, not that we are elevating Daniel Sano argument, the nonsense he said today again, it's not in news. Daniel Sano, boss man, the vice president said he described we are as common citizens. Daniel Sano goes to the Mika press briefing today. He refers to the president, the former president, as being small. So ain't no news there. What his vice president said, that's the same thing he's saying. The reason I brought it up, because of the two, this is strong. But you know why they will not react to Marvin Cole? Because if they did, Marvin Cole has more. Marvin Cole ain't afraid of any one of those people in the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. Instead of addressing this huge, scary thing that Marvin Cole revealed, then go to Marvin Cole. Daniel Sano sat himself over there. He had the audacity, like his boss man, the vice president, to say, we are a small. Yes, we take that. We take that. That is a good compliment. As long as it brings peace to the country, keeps the stability of the country, that is a compliment. It is no damning of we are. It doesn't take anything away from we are. No, none of you should call and even react to that. I'm just saying it in passing because of this one. Between the two, he hung on we are statement that he made. And then in no time he said, oh, we are took the statement down. That we will make statement and take it down. This one, the man said they put in more pressure on the old man so that the old man will give up the ghost. We expected to hear reaction from the Ministry of Information, from Daniel Sano, from his boss, Jeremy Pia, even Kula Fofana. But you know what? None of them will raise this issue because Marvin Cole will expose people from in the executive, and then it will go far and wide, and then it will bring friction within that terrain. Marvin Cole, let policy more than will go here.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency, they are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I am hoping that will not continue in that vein. But I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that, not continue in that vein. But I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029. I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. Say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because but I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because they are agents, they are demons at the doors of this country that are willing to put this country back into a bloodshed. I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because they are agents, they are demons at the doors of this country that are willing to put this country back into a bloodshed.
And those agents and demons will be exposed with time by God. Again, President Boakai has God's protection, has God hovering him. He may have his health problem, which everyone knows. He's not in a good bill of health. We understand that. And we all are of the strongest conviction by faith that our president will go beyond 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. God will keep our president. The demons and other people that he referred to, that Marvin Cole referred to, as putting pressure on the president so that he will give up the ghost. God knows how to work. God can allow such person or people to go first. Then the person you are wishing to go, you will attend their funeral. It's always the case. That's how God works. If you have no idea, if you wish anybody's death, God himself can take you from the earth, and the person whose death you were wishing will go to your funeral. Everyone who is wishing President Joseph Yema Boakai's death, you will die before the president. Boakai is our president. Boakai has God's protection. The Spirit of God is hovering our president. Wherever he is, wherever he goes, the Spirit of God, the protection of God is with him. Our president will move all the way up to 2029. Those of you who wishing his death, I can say to you from the Bible as a Christian, because we have seen it and we have seen it in real life. Those of you who praying for Boakai to go ahead because you want to assume authority, you will die before Boakai. Boakai will go to your funeral. You will pay tribute over your body. If you know what I know, you need to stop. You need to stop. If ever was the time that you wait for your time, it's now you start waiting for your time. But if you wish our president, who was elected democratically and soon unconstitutionally, though we disagree on issues, but he is our president. Whether we like it or not, he is our president. And you will not wish your president to go. You wish that your president serves his term and turn over peacefully, just as today we have two former presidents. We want to have Boakai as the third former president. We have the first former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The second former president, George Weah. We want to have the stare former president, Joseph Yeman Boakai, and that is blessing. God has given us, God has blessed us with 2 living former presidents. And God has set the stage for the 10 living former president. 2029, the president will decide not to go or to go. But we are of the conviction that God is protecting him, and we wish God's protection and leading upon him. Everyone who is wishing Boakai's death will die before our president. That's all I can say to that. All right. So let's go. Keep playing the King's Cash giveaway. We are giving out 10,000. Oh, 10,000. It's 10,000. Keep playing here. It's 10,000 for you to get something in your pocket, because it's not easy. Things are so bad of, so terrible. Just can't understand what is happening in this country under Joseph Yeman Boakai, our president. Let's go to the line now and take few calls on these pointers. We had the U.S. government caution to all individuals. The Independent National Commission on Human Rights coming out with a report of several human rights abuses or increased human rights abuses under the Boakai-led government. 2024 protests at the president's house and the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation of Liberia, and Marvin Cole's revelation that they are putting pressure on the old man to give up the ghost so that they will assume the presidency of this country. 0772 23 99 33 0886 3044 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75 as you play the King's Cash giveaway. Hello. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Andrew, this is David King, and I do join you from Resident. Mr. Andrew, let me agree with you that Mr. Boakai will live beyond 2035. And anybody feels that Mr. Boakai will die. Look, Mr. Boakai has already proven to us that he will live beyond that time. This is why he bought his 2 bulletproof Lester for $1.2 million, and they were taken to the house yesterday. Somebody who can die with that battle kind of cash. So people who are praying for Mr. Boakai to die, for them to assume the presidency, they are joking. They're going nowhere. They're not going to do all the guilt which the man will survive.
My man, when call Neo, the man who made a revelation, he call no name will bake you chief.
Yeah, calling name.
No, no, don't call it on our station. Go to the party headquarters and call it there. Yeah. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
Yes. Sorry. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah. You know, Andrew, nobody prayer can kill him. But he said harming himself. He harming himself by putting rope around his neck. That means wickedness. That our wickedness, when he stops, that one will carry him.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you.
Yes, Andrew, we pray that our president will live long. Will live long. So anybody who sees evil, after seeing it will go back. That they won't go there, but not him. And it will see that pushing to do a different thing. He will live long. Anything they want, it will not hold. Step up.
Thank you. Okay, let's go. Hello. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, let's hear you. Your name and where you call from.
My name is Daniel Saki, and I joined your conversation for Drew Community this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
You are on the air.
Yeah. Well, what I have to say on the issue is that when it comes to the power, it's too power greedy.
Chief, I don't talk about anybody. Oh, come on, man. Y'all understand English?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is flip science in a fully from Cardwell, New Jersey, Melville. And I just want a massive recognition information up. I like the way you are restricting the conversation in terms of calling people names. But let me be honest with you and honest with the Liberian people. First of all, let me appreciate the President, Excellency President Joseph Zima Bouaka, for the massive road construction going on. We know the President is there to succeed. And nobody can try him. The President is well protected by God because it is God that gave people leadership. And once God gave you leadership, He will protect you until that leadership, the purpose of that leadership, come to fulfillment.
Amen. So thank you, Chief.
Our prayer, I was the President, and not only the President, but all His cabinet members, all our political
I mean, you're open that you're open prep. Thank you, Chief. I prep you're open, Chief. Hello.
Hello.
Cut off your radio. Cut off your radio.
Hello.
Cut off the radio.
Yeah, I cut off the radio. Well, I'm praying according to St. Andrew. You thank you that God bless you. Of those who are suffering. But it's better for the men to be over us until 2029. Because we now want no disaster. We now want 40. So let God be with you. Let it satisfy you, purify you, and give you long life until 2029 in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So I thank you.
Amen. Hello?
Yeah,
Man, your background is noisy. When you call, make sure you're not in the midst of loud voices. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Chris Connor, calling you from VOA Ramsey Howard. Hello?
But you on the air. We're waiting to hear you.
Yeah. My attention to Mexico statement. You know, as human being, don't be angry more in this statement. The statement on Joseph in my program.
Marvin Cole was angry?
No, at discussing Joseph in my program, at the time he was running for the president, said when he said he had to eat with the devil and devil with the devil.
But that's not why we're talking, my man. We're not talking about the man's political statement, Chief. Man, English giving you a hard time. Okay, thank you, yeah? At least you're the one. Okay, Charles, Dubon Hill, and Princess Elpides. Okay, yes, you people are right. Charles Taylor. Yeah, Charles Taylor, another former president. Yeah, another former president. He stepped down. So he's stay alive. So it's 4. Yeah, our president will make them 5. All right. So Matthew Cholopre is Choloplay. He said, now I understand why. Oh. My man. Okay, let's forget about the comments because you're going ahead. Your let us speak or thing or what happened on Capitol Hill. Lord, that the only thing you can put in all the other things we'll talk. You not have time for you. As soon as you count, oh, the speaker did. Where's your going die? They want that. That only thing you this country. Let's take this break. Yeah, let's take a break first. Let's make some kind of adjustment. Then when we move on now, we will go home with what we have. Let's take this break with the revolutionary singer, Sonny Okusu. Sonny Okusu with that one, African soldier. We are the African soldier in this modern time, keeping the government's feet to the fire to do what is right. All right, so let's get started with the second and final lap of the show, and then we are out. Yeah. Daniel Sando, no, we will not give you credence. It's not easy. People are resigning. Michael Tippison has left the National Port Authority. He has left the National Port Authority. He resigned. Then he requesting. He requesting for his benefits, rice, squash car, every other thing. He requesting. He tendered in his resignation as Senior Director, Corporate Service, Records and Archive Department at the National Port Authority. Yeah, that he will be leaving. He say effective April 30th. You can, a rescue, the one, it does not make sense. So you cannot write terminating your service and say that April 30th you'll be leaving. It is the management or the institution based on the nature of your work. The reason they can give time ahead so that the next appointee will have time to familiarize himself, walk along with the person and people in that place as he gets ready to take over. That is the reason they do it all over in governance, UN system, everywhere they do it. But I cannot be tendering my resignation. I say, oh, I will be leaving June 30th. No, it doesn't make sense. You don't have the option. The institution, by whatever the arrangement, will announce that because of XYZ, this person will be leaving the institution on April 30th. Marco Tebesin can resign from his position, issue a public letter, serve the MD his letter of resignation. Then in a letter, he said he will be leaving on the 30th. What sense does that make? It is the institution that has the right, not the person who is tendering or terminating his service. Common sense to that. You will not be leaving an institution, you decide to leave the institution. You wrote your letter of resignation. Then in it, you say, I will be leaving July. You wrote the communication in March, and you say, I will be leaving July 31st or July. Hey, rescue. Every day you show mentor dullness. It is the port management will say because of this XYZ, Michael Tepesin will be leaving the National Port Authority at the close of April. April 30th, he will be leaving. To give time for his successor to be sorted out and brought in. That's the reason they can push it ahead for the next person. So the institution say, okay, Michael Tepesin is leaving, giving his IQ, giving his capabilities, every other thing. We need to get somebody not necessarily like him, but somebody similar. And we need to do a lookout. So it is that period now they will use. In the meantime, Michael Tepesin is there helping the institution, but it is agreed both by mutual consent and documentation that at the close of April, he will be leaving. So they will use that interval to find somebody suitable for that position. But the rescue, the people who say they get 42 years experience in no book, how you can write? You tender your resignation, you terminate your service, and then you say you'll be leaving on the 30th. When he wrote the communication to Sekou Dukle, his boss, March 27, which is today. So he dictating to the boss when he leaves. That rescue, the subject dictates to the boss, or he dictating to his man. You see, he does not want to leave. But given the pressure, given the exposure that coming from the National Port Authority by people within and out, he's one of those that the port manager or the port head, Dukle, brought from the United States. Tepperson was running, yeah. He was one of those that was saying all kinds of things. He was in Ellen's government, and then Ellen government, he was not that successful. We are government, he tried getting along. It didn't work. He managed his way. He left. So he was on that side writing a number of damaging things against Weah. They were fabricating stories. They were making up lies. So when Bouaka came to power now, Ducle brought him. Ducle brought him, not only he alone, the guy who is the managing director, Pee Wee Flomo, not Bouaka, but Ducle brought him from America. Ducle brought a couple of them and said, oh, we've won the election. Bouaka is going to make me the head of the National Port Authority. You guys being with me, so let's go. And then when Michael Tepperson came in the game, B position, that position, I think he was making pretty close to 7,000 or 8,000. I know why they're resigning, because people are exposing them now. The same thing they were criticizing. They were putting payroll out, doing Weah's administration of people. They were doing all those things. It has caught up with them now. They're leaving. But I think he doesn't want to leave. He just wants his men to beg him to stay. They are leaving. All right. That will be doing it. So let's go to VP, the former vice president of Liberia, Joy Howard Taylor, with her criticism of the Bouaka Koun bad leadership. She will issue a statement to that, criticizing the bad leadership style of Joseph Yeman Boakai and his man, JKK. Yeah. So she will criticize the bad handling, the students, the government handling of the student protests, the government resorting to violence, bad leadership, and on and on. The former vice president of Liberia, Joy Howard Taylor, were raised about the government of Joseph Yeman Boakai. Continue playing the King's Cash giveaway. It's 10,000. We've given out 10,000. Dow Star. Yes, 10,000. 10,000. 10,000. 10,000. Keep playing. All right. So let's go. Yesterday, it was the topic of the day. Everybody, eyes, ears, was on the Supreme Court. Everybody descended on the Supreme Court by their attention and curiosity to hear. The argument went on, and nothing definitive was decided. You got a clear breakdown, a simple breakdown on face the issues last night with A.B. William, Anthony at law. So there's no need to just... What I want to do is to talk about the aftermath of the ruling. The reactions were interesting yesterday. And some of the sayings that should the determination go the way of the law, and Fonati Kofi is on the side of the law, the guys would not cooperate. Richard Cohn would not want to step down. The executive favors him. He's the candidate. The legal side will be dealt with. But let me start by saying it is clear. It is just like the football game. When it reaches the quarterfinal from the group stage, it will move to the quarterfinal stage. Moving from that stage to go to the quarterfinal, everybody knows who will be meeting who. You hear the people, oh, this person, Barcelona will be playing this person. Real Madrid will be playing this person. Because they understand from the group stage the rule. So, given what we listened to yesterday, I don't think anything there is ambiguous. That it's going to be a headache for the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of that court to come up with a consensus verdict or determination. I don't think anything ambiguous there. No. I am of the conviction, this is my candid opinion. It is going to go, or it will go the way of the law. And who is on the side of the law? Fonati Kofa. It is clear there was nothing ambiguous over there that says the Supreme Court will still have to do this, do that. Given that argument yesterday, that literal but legal argument, even within the legal realm of it, everyone knows how it went. With that, you expect no change. No change. You're watching a football game and you know the rule, and the referee is playing to the rule, and somebody operated outside of the rule on the page. You hear everybody, oh, it's clear. It's clear that red card coming. The red card. The red card. You go up, you can't have the red card. Why they would say that? Because what they saw from the onset. And truly, as the referee goes to the scene, everybody sees him putting his hand in his back pocket where the red card is, and he brings it out. I am telling you that legal red card will be shown against the majority bloc. Except God will move to those people individually and collectively and change everything. It would take a miracle to do that. It is clear the Supreme Court will not go the way of the junta. From that ruling yesterday, or from that argument, those arguments yesterday, one can deduce that it's going to favor the minority. No, let me start calling the people minority. They're minority. The Chief Justice said yesterday, no blocks business. The law ain't say anything like that. So when calling Kun, we'll call Kun the majority bloc that has to consider themselves. We're not call the other people, the speaker, minority. She said in one of her statements, she said, your line of argument on this new nomenclature of majority, I haven't seen it legally in the books, even within our jurisprudence, when it comes to the legislature. Then she goes further. Does the law say that a group of lawmakers can hold a session elsewhere while the elected speaker is present and summoning them for session? Teacher Light broke this one down. Anthony at Law, A.B. William broke this one down. And you got it last night. It was a class, and it will continue. Listen, she asked, this question was not rhetorical. It was a strict jacket question. This question alone tells you that the woman was saying to them, everything you're doing over there, all of you, whichever way, you're outside the law completely, you go up, you can down. all the people who encourage you, they misled you. Since you said that we were not definitive, we are being definitive now. Does the law say that a group of lawmakers can hold a session elsewhere while the elected speaker is present and summoning them for session? Then James Etta Howard Wolokoli. What did James Etta Wolokoli say? Our rules are important to avoid chaos. Our rules are important to avoid chaos. The Constitution gives lawmakers the authority to elect and remove a speaker, but there's the conjunction, but they must follow the proper procedure. The law did not say you can move. You can remove, you can elect, and you can remove. But it should be done in accordance with the very law that gave you the right to elect and remove. Judge Yusuf D. Kabar, Associate Justice Yusuf D. Kabar, what did he say? Follow the procedure, even though the majority has the power or authority to remove their speaker, but let the procedure be followed. And on we can go. There are too many. Put all of these together on the table. What you can deduce from there? Nothing is ambiguous. They are not going to say that Richard Coon and his people are right. With all they have said, with the tutorial they offer, with the legal education, identifying the flaws or fallacies from the majority bloc legal team, how then can they now turn it around and say Richard Coon is the speaker? You're telling me I want to see that. I want to see the possibility of that. The second thing, nobody going to cause chaos in this country. Nobody absolutely will cause chaos. That place is not Richard Coon's personal place. It is not the personal place of any one of the lawmakers. That is the first branch of government. The law says that Richard Coon was not elected. Hence, nobody, Richard Coon and nobody can insist, because one of the arguments is if the Supreme Court went in accordance with the law, which is Speaker Kofa, Richard Coon and his people will refuse to cooperate. They will not go to session. They will insist under no condition except this is a junta regime headed by Richard Coon. That's the only way. But Richard Coon can never, ever, none of his people can never, ever insist on holding on. The very police that they use against their colleagues to beat them will be those same police that will go for Richard Coon and his people. Nobody, under no condition, will cause any stir. It's not going to go Richard Coon's way. Richard Coon messed himself up. But that's what you have when you're not properly schooled. Nobody, you'll be a show, yeah? They will not. The court will not rule. The contrary, the court, that verdict will be in accordance to the law. Anything beyond that, nothing will happen. Nothing. It's not going to go your main way. Everybody knows. It is clear. There'll be no intimidation. If they try a Richard Coon and his people, those renegade lawmakers, insist on anything, attempt to cause stir in this country. Now, let me go back. You know where that statement came from? That statement came as a result of what the people saying. They say, ain't I read the U.S. position to you? Though it's for everybody, all around the world, individuals. But which country, from African perspective, that we know that causing stir? That Liberia, the governor Joseph Yima Boakai. So it is a hint. The U.S. government spread out one to tell you that we're watching, we're waiting for the Supreme Court, and we know that the Supreme Court can't go the way of Richard Coon because Richard Coon is not the speaker. Richard Coon and his people can never insist they're not cooperating. They can never insist that they're holding on. They can never cause any confusion in this country. I told you people yesterday, and let me say again, according to my info from within the corridor, the vineyard of the presidency, Boakai has given up on Coon. You know why? The president felt uncomfortable with Coon's behavior over the months. Coon had not, he's not elected. Then he started to embarrass, bursting other police people to burst into people's car, raining insult, burglarize the speaker's office. You sitting part of the wing of the speaker's office, and on and on. Everything, just like a rebel leader. Even a rebel leader will be cautious. Suspending the fellow lawmakers, seizing the pay, the same people you want to work with. You flush the people outside. You issue a public statement that none of them should come around the Capitol building compound. You order the Minister of Finance to seize the pay. You suspend indiscriminately. And you say, you speaker, the people that you will need, you fend them off. How is that possible? You need people. You need them. They are vital elements for you to work with. So you want to persuade them. You want to be persuasive in everything you do. That's how a leader, that's one of the core values of a leader. A leader is not emotional. That's why God said, be slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to get angry. God did not say we should not get angry. No. God said we should get angry, but our anger should be at the wrong thing for the right. So the leader will always speak less, listen more, analyze critically before he or she can take a decision. You want to, when you see anybody with those characters, you see their leadership, their institution so well. And that's why sometimes people can say, oh, the thing happening, oh, the manager didn't want to talk, oh, the director didn't want to say anything. No, that's the same problem that how we are here. But we was taking his time to address the issue, looking into it. You say you speaker, everything you, but it's not a surprise. I told you. Yeah, I used to say the thing, and you saw it, and you still seeing it. 3 times, Richard Coon, 3 times, I moderated debate. They put in banners very no. I saw Richard Coon character, simple thing. He debating, and then they just said something. Richard Coon's got vexed. He started using some awful remarks. Richard Coon walk off. You think I was saying it because I against Richard Coon? No, based on what I've seen of Richard Coon. And you say, Richard Coon stay over there as speaker. Every day there will be fighting in our house. Every day, some of his colleagues will say publicly, we regretted why we made you speaker. That Boakai gave us money, that's why we made you speaker. Every day, you will hear these things. But thank God we're not happy because he ain't going back there. One of the reasons Boakai is just not comfortable. Boakai gave up on the man. Even though Boakai initiated it and initiated it the wrong way against his government, but at least if Coon had just conducted himself well, the guys would have helped him. Didn't I tell you that that man, Thomas Fala knew that everything was wrong, but because they too, they have their agenda, they wanted to get XYZ, they depleted the budget before the budget could even have flesh on it. Everything they were doing, that just money business. And he made fun of Richard Coon. Nobody cares vote over there. The chief clerk, who is responsible by the parliamentary procedure to induct the speaker, well, did not do it. Thomas Fala took one paper and pen. I hope I can get it. I will try to get that thing. I will get it. Where Thomas Fala, you saw Thomas Fala writing quick. Then he called Richard Coon to stand up because it was done hastily, because they knew that everything that they were doing was illegal. They wanted to have some kind of relevance. So Richard Coon put left hand up. And Thomas Fala knew and still know today that you don't take over with left hand. He saw Richard Coon left hand up, but because he knew that a buffoon, a moron was standing in front of him, and since he's so hard for power, he refused to tell him, because you know what? A brother will tell a brother will educate. You see that in gathering, sometimes the person they can come in a person's ear and say, no, this way. Yeah. All of us can see that in gathering, right? So why Thomas Fala in whisper in the man's ear, or any one of those guys, to tell him it is your left hand, that God was exposing them? So beyond that, they start doing all kinds of going to RLJ, doing it. He just messed Boaka up, because Boaka too is completely of leadership experience and exposure. Back to what I'm saying to close. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. The court will not go, Richard Coon, where you go up, you come down. Will never. Go to God. Ask God. God will tell you that it's going Fonati way. Even go to Satan. Ask Satan. Satan will tell you that I even vest with Richard Coon and his people. But no, Satan, the tempter, the deceiver, the destroyer of everything rule of law. Satan is opposite the law, which Richard Coon and people are. You go to Satan and Satan will tell you how mad he is with Richard Coon and his man. So it can go. It can go that way. We know it's clear. If it was going Richard Coon way, the way the argument went, it would not have gone that way. You know why everybody just quiet? When I say everybody, mean Unity Party people. You don't see anything, they're not shouting, because they know they follow the argument. Everything, 99.9% of the argument went against the majority bloc. They were empty yesterday. Everything went against them. It was a school for them to say, these are your errors. And everything centered on breach of the law, blatant violation of the law, ignoring the law. That was everything centered on yesterday. All the other people were saying, put all in a nutshell, that was the crux of the argument yesterday. So how then can that change in favor of the other side? If the argument had not gone the way it went, then we will be saying, yes, the Supreme Court will go Coon's way, because they will have said, yes, Coon was elected, he did this, the majority, blah, blah, in the law, yes, even though it's not written in the law, majority block, but this is the idea. You see, some kind of way they will have polished it to go on the other side. But the law is scientific. There's no way you can put personal opinion into it. So there's no way They stuck to the law. It was not about themselves. It was about what they learn in law school, what the law say. The law is scientific. It is all, like AB said last night, it is all about reasoning. And truly, it's about reasoning. So Vani Chama and his people, they were ill reasoning. The Supreme Court Chief Justice and Associate Justices, they were reasoning scientifically in accordance with the law. So you tell me now, how then can they go now when they come on and say Richard Kun is the speaker after identifying all of the faults of the majority, illegality, unconstitutionality, undemocratic? How can they come back and tell the whole world that Richard Kun is the speaker? To do that is to say that Richard Kun, in accordance with the law, was duly elected. Then that argument would not have gone the way it went. You can deduce, you can listen to conversation, you know how it is going to go. And the Justice Minister said the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the majority bloc. Let him go back. If that Justice Minister, if Oswald Tue had conscience, he would have tendered in his resignation to say, Boaga, I betray you, I resign. The guys in Europe, you say, honestly, they are so patriotic to their country, not the president or a person. When they realize a blunder that placed the country in a situation or place a dent on the government, we hear that person. BBC, VOA, or the other network will tell us that this person has resigned because the Justice Minister has stepped down because of this, that. And that is an honorable thing to do. Because the man embarrassed Boaga with Boaga acquiescence. But since Boaga is the president, he has the power, and every minister works at the will and pleasure of him. I expected that he will move to dismiss Oswald Tue. Oh, yeah. Boaga not going to have it his way. The court will not go the way of the majority bloc. It's going to be a red card. It's going to be a legal red card against. So those of you, y'all get ready. Those of you who have smartphone, y'all go to Google. Say you can go to FIFA and CAF or LFA to get card. Just get on Google. Just have a red card. And just use it as your symbol. That red card is going, the legal red card. When the referee takes it from his pocket and show it, why you see the player getting outside, meaning the player breached the rule. His act was not in accordance with the law. Therefore, he cannot be in the midst of the adherents to the rule of law. There's the rule and there's the law of the rule. That's why they say rule of law. It can go, and Richard Kun can cause any disturbance. They cannot hijack anything. They cannot insist to stay on. To do that is to damage further their own government, is to expose their own government, and that could even lead to something else. They can. So you don't be afraid. Yesterday, people though, Richard Kun could insist he and his guys, or they could put up non-cooperative posture if the Supreme Court rules in favor of the law, who is Fonati Kofa, that they will not want to sit on a Fonati Kofa, they will stay away, and what become the legislature? No, they can't do that. The most common sense thing to do is to go back, allow the process to start anew, give the man due process. The man does not want to stay. Between you and I, Kofa has given up on that thing. It is not Kofa's desire any longer to be Speaker of the House of Representatives in this government. Kofa has received, he has endured more than enough. I am convinced, I wasn't there, but I know God can drop things in people's spirit, man. I am convinced that his wife must have spoken to him and say, yes, stay on, do it, set precedents. After that, you leave the speakership and let Boaka and his people find somebody. The speaker only want to set precedents. That precedence is the people will reference it in the past. When you go to court, when the legal people arguing, and you can see them, they can say, oh, this opinion, this other this, they can be referencing it, that the thing we're talking here. So if the Supreme Court say Richard Kuhn as speaker, fast forward, when something happened in our legislature and they taking the speaker from there illegally or they pro tem and then they go before the law, you know what? The people who will be backing there, they will make reference to it. They'll say that's how Richard Kunke, the Supreme Court opinion was this, that. And that same Supreme Court opinion they will use to justify their action. So, on the other hand, when a speaker sets precedents, which he is doing, go into the chambers, the main chambers, do everything that is right. If you got the 49 as required by the Constitution and all of the elements associated with due process are put on the floor and the speaker is off, according to Fonati Kofa himself, he said he will graciously bow out as Speaker of the House of Representatives and sit down right there proudly as representative of his county. Don't we? It's not so much of the power. Look at Abachie. Abachie, for 6 years, Abachie was pro tem of the Liberian Senate. Abachie today is not a pro tem. But does it take anything away from him? No. Abachie sits in the Senate representing his county, and who's chasing him everywhere he goes and booing him that he's not pro tem. He's comfortable. The same way Fonati Kofa was set over there as representative of his county. That's why he has always maintained that it is not for him to stay on. If the guys can do what is right in accordance with the law, he will move. Where is that clip? I think I should have something on the Honorable Speaker, J. Fonati Kofa. I think I should have something I need to share with you, and then we're out. I just thought to talk this way. Don't be afraid. They can do nothing. Richard Kuhn and his people will do nothing. They have no power to cause stir in this country. They can never destabilize their own government. This is a sovereign state with a sovereign government in place, and we are a country of laws, not men. Secondly, that ruling will never, ever go in favor of Richard Kuhn. I expect, and I hope he's doing it now, to start packing his things. Every other thing beyond there, we'll discuss it. But he needs to start packing. The court can never, never go his way. That is, want to see that miracle. Want to see that miracle. Hold on, trying to get the Honorable Speaker. Want to see that miracle that he will perform to go, there you go his way. Then Dillon too. That now Dillon know that the law is about reason. Dillon, you sit down, you're messing or you're mess Boaka up. Because AB explained all of the stuff about it, gave a legal breakdown that now you know you're using reasoning now. What did Dillon say? Let me share with you. You don't have to, when open the line, you don't have to call or mention him. No. I just want you to know what he said. That's all. He said, the soul of the law is sound reasoning, not emotions, not sentiment. It was the same emotion and sentiment politically they were supporting. Not until the Supreme Court gave that opinion and Teacher Light made it clear last night that the law is all about reasoning. It's not how one feels or the power that one's have by physicality or hijacking. No. That now DeLong, he mentioned it, he referring to reasoning. DeLong, you belated. You belated. You should have said this thing long since. But you're sat down there, you're endorsed an illegal group that now you know the law is about reasoning. Shame. Another buffon and moron in that place called Senate. All of them. I read Amara Connor stuff. He's shamed too. All of them. Yombly Kanga Lawrence. That ruling can never, ever go the way of the majority bloc. Can never. That DeLong, yeah? We know we have our lawyer, Teacher Light, broke it down yesterday, bit by bit. So, remember, said it over and over. The law is all about reasoning. It's all about reasoning. That now you know, DeLong, you can put it on your page. He said, the soul of the law is sound reasoning, not emotions, not sentiment. You people supported emotions. You supported sentiment. Everything the majority bloc was doing was sentiment, was emotion, not in accordance with the law, purely political. And you endorse them. That now you know that why and you say, oh no, we are the economy or intercepted 10? Nonsense. What other thing he said? He said, what the law says, not who the law sees. That is why justice is blind. Oh, you know that one? Nonsense. Let me go to the Honorable Speaker. Let me go to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, J. Fonati Kofa. Right after the argument, the man came out with this. I want you people to listen to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. You're in your country, the whole country booing and mugging you. The whole country telling you you're not speaker. They're calling the speaker. You even get conscience, Richard Kuhn. You even shame. You're moving around. You stole the man's car. You sat down there for the family and the rest of the people. They burst into the man's office to use a Teacher Light word. They burglarized the man's office. You sat down there. Everything, they force it on you. You even shame. You get conscience. You in a place. They're telling you, the speaker, they call him Fonati Kofa, the speaker. Everywhere we recognize him as the speaker. They know him as the speaker. You shame. Your position in contention is being contested. That means that people are giving it all kinds of descriptions. I tell you, have conscience enough, like your man said. Yeah. I tell you, have conscience, just as your man said. Yeah, ego. I got real mumu. I mean, che. He spoiled the cool people new. But anyway, now about trap. No, and I trap is only a big yo. Yeah, that just joking. On a serious note, I see why your man said you don't get any ability. You must step down.
Roger Kuhn can do better. Can do better to say, you know what? You're okay, you're trouble. Let me serve my people as representative. He's in a bad spot. Richard Kun is going down in history like a neglected, rejected, disowned speaker at this time. That Richard Kun is in a bad spot. If Richard Kun thinks that the people want him as speaker to solve the whole Wahara, he should open an election. If Richard Kun thinks he got 4357 individuals that are willing to support him to shut down for the Kofa and bring some respect to that house, Richard Kun should open a new election. He should step down and ask the people to go for election. It will end this whole Wahara. It will end this whole thing.
Thank you. Let's bring on the speaker now of the Honorable House of Representatives, J. Fonati Kofa, on this same stuff, and then we take few calls. We out. The Supreme Court can never, ever, never, ever, underline that expression, never, ever go the way of the renegades, the junta. They can never.
If 49 of my colleagues come today in the chambers and say, Mr. Speaker, for these reasons.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Exactly.
I can enjoy you.
You cannot be for democracy when it favors you.
Yes, sir.
You have to be for democracy, period. Okay? As I have told you, if 49 of my colleagues come today in the chambers and say, Mr. Speaker, for these reasons, we don't want you, I will step down the very same day. We will not even go to court or go say anything. What is important in any democracy is the Constitution and the rules that we go by. Because we set the rules of the game before we start to play. Okay? We don't make it up as we go along. You don't say before the game 49 is required, then in the middle of the game where we can only reach to 42, so 42 is good enough. Okay? There's a reason why it takes 37 to elect a speaker, for 49 to remove him. Because the Constitution and the framework recognize, okay, that an attack on this branch of government is destabilizing. The only people who will tell you everything is fine in Liberia now are those people who got their head buried in the sand, are those who want to pretend like all is well. But the entire world has now focused on this issue and this problem, and the house is destabilized. You know, there is somebody running around calling himself speaker and looking for recognition that is not giving. Okay, you can't be that dense in your head and that uncaring to say, look, you know, it's well, you know, we have it under control, and the legislature is not functioning. Okay, there are those who say, oh, why don't you resign for the sake of the country? No, why don't we go by the rules of the Constitution and the House for the sake of the country? Okay, why is it the removal of the speaker is the most important thing on your agenda? Why? Okay, why is it not the education of children? Why is it not the health of our people? Why is it not the empowerment of women and businesses? Why is it not the rule of law? Why are those not the important things to you? But the important thing to you is the removal of speaker. It's crazy.
That was
thank you so much. The Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, the rule of law hero, the man who stays within the ambit of the law. Let's get to you. Let's take a few calls and then we are out for today to get ready for the weekend's edition. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 98 03 75. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah, my name is Amar. I'm calling from Job.
Let's go. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I really appreciate your show this evening. But you know, Rachel Kun just hurting yourself, making yourself look ugly in the country, like they say, he the speaker. Why everyone recognize Fonati, the speaker of the republic, but everywhere he going, just let the do destroyed by people? Or what? What are you really looking for? Why you can stay away? Like example in post India and lead a position of the better person over there. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day. Hello. You are on the air, Chief.
Yeah, it is Abraham Fonati.
Chief, what is your name on?
This Othello Oyo. I said, is this Abraham Fonati?
What you call Abraham Fonati? Chief, no. I hope you know what you're calling. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm Marie Baba calling from Ambato.
Let's hear you, Marie.
Yeah, sir. I'm doing a long second of the banner today. I was able to call because people can still say
What did he say?
I said people can say now the speaker will not resign, speaker will resign, and for them recording and know that he's sent by the law for peace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said it.
Because the next thing they say, what only for the speakership? You got health, you got education, you got a competition in the school. They see that it is well. Why about the speakership? I very like what he said to the law. They always have to take people when they step out, they always have to take people. But when I think we let them go and they will never in their generation will take over. They will never take people again. Thank you.
Good. Have a nice Thursday. Hello.
Sam, thank you for the second segment of the show. Sam, I really appreciate you. I particularly call to extend appreciation to you and the way you maintain the show and protecting interest. That whenever we call, people come after us and you always put them on the right track. I appreciate that so much. This is what I follow.
You want to go straight to the point. Time is of the essence, sir.
Sam, I would love that we breakfast this evening, at least to have a close relation with my brother and friend.
Well, Unity Party, man. You want to set us up? Well, man, we are afraid of y'all. We're big, y'all. We're big, y'all.
No, we are brothers.
Oh, no, listen, my man. Listen, hold on. I will give you a time. Don't worry. Listen, in we as government, I was on VOL running the show the same way in the afternoon. Kopa Pasawe, who is a friend of mine, very good friend, we live in the estate for years.
Okay.
Opposition people will go to the state on the show and all of that. I called Kopa Pasawe. I said, "Oh my man, this is the situation. Can you come in?" Well, you know what Kopa Pasawe told me?
No.
He said, "Sam Andrews, I don't want to die." I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "My man, I want to die. I want to go and soon before your government, Joe, we are killing me." I quietly off the phone. Yeah. So from that day, so that the same thing, your United Party people, I want to identify you before you kill me. So go now, go ahead.
You know, I'm your trusted a little better. You know, so although we have differences, but you have to know that we are something, man.
No, that's why in life you have to be very careful. There are certain things you can't say. Even if you think that you feel insecure, you don't just go straight to death. You don't show grudge. You don't say against. You have to be very mindful because those things will be used against you in the future. Now, that's the reason why I don't go around Kopa pass away. And I'm saying in public, that reason why I can't go around him. So he can say, "Oh, Sam Andrew King, they want the man there because your police are predator police." By the time they call, forget it. They say, "Oh, that King 7 man, that Abraham, God said we are man." Yeah.
Oh, I see. But Sam, if I were Christian, you were being my spiritual father.
Yeah, my man, say what you want to say. I'm feeling with your back.
No, if you want to break fast.
But I'm Muslim, I'll break 5 of you. I can do that thing, Chief. I can't do it. I'm Christian. I will come break 5 with you. You 5 for 1 month. You tell God thank you. Yeah.
No issue, my regards to your family.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yeah, it's Sam Andrew. Peter David Castle. I come from another street like in Rod Johnsonville. Thank you for the fascinating discussion. No, it's Sam Andrew. We do not need a rocket scientist to get it and tell us the side the Supreme Court will rule. And from the argument yesterday, we can preempt the outcomes of the Supreme Court. And as for us, it will not be a surprise to us because we have clearly indicated from the attitude of the so-called minority bloc. We knew very well that they were in the wrong direction who articulated it to them, but our other guys from the other political device continue to defend and that these unlawful and wrongful behavior that have been instituted by Richard Kuhn and his guy and in the majority black. And they need to start this. Liberia is a democratic society. Liberia is not being governed by men. Liberia is a country that is governed by law. So the rule of law is going to prevail and they will subscribe to that particular rule of law.
Okay.
Nobody is going to sacrifice the rule of law.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you very much.
It's not going to go Richard Kuhn way. On no condition. No condition. Yeah, let's hear you, Chief.
Yes, I'm
good. As long as there is life, I'm good. And we thank God.
Yeah. Tell you. At least now we are happy lady for
what?
For the Supreme Court lady, because at least they are telling order just a preview. Yeah, for now. Because if only when you go in the favor of fanatic offer, but then when you go on the other side, just say not preview.
It can never ever go on the other side. Don't even worry about that. Go home, sleep sound. Just wait. When the time comes, you will hear it. Yeah? All right.
Okay.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Let's hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
This is Sam Andrew.
Yeah, this is Sam Andrews.
Wow, Sam, I mean, pleasure, man. Thank you so kindly. This is Pastor Davis on District number 6. Again, for me, I've got nothing to say much. I want to use this platform to appreciate fanatic people. The guy speaks like a leader. I mean, this is the definition of being an educated person. This is how you speak. I mean, we have said that one thing that I've said, if the court rules, and we basically know and aware that the court will rule in favor of the country or of the law. And so when that decision is taken, the fanatic says, as soon as it's clearly to go at the chambers of the legislature, decision will be made. For me, I just want him to set the stage, to set that standard, that principles of life. Because mind you, you will not be as King Stephen if the law didn't protect all of us. You wouldn't speak the way you speak it if you didn't have the backings of the law. The reason why all of us are Liberians is because the law has given us that right to be called Liberians. I mean, anybody can come into this country, but they must be guided by the principles.
All right, Chief.
It is the law that governs all of us. And yet people become
Thank you, sir.
stylish and primitive argument that play is a precursor. They get there.
Don't mind them, man. Don't mind them, Chief. Thank you. Don't mind them. They shame. Let's hear you. What is your name and where you call from?
My name is Andrew. Let me say, President, good evening to the listeners for the broadcast. The conversation of one who been asking this evening.
Yeah, let's hear you. Time. Oh, you went off. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. It's not going to go those guys with whatever they can agree or plan within themselves. It can never help them. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Andrew. I'm speaking with y'all from Westland. My name is Esther Donny. Right now, we the CDC in Westland. They're not small dancing.
Hey man, oh my going off by. Hey, yeah, she was saying something from where Westward. Yeah. It can never, that can never happen. Hello. But you're going off. I mean, you're well, okay, you're go off. You let the phone keep ringing. When one person is off, the next person is on. That's how it is. Hello?
Really, Sam Andrew.
Yes.
Let me say, President, good evening to the listener following your broadcast. Well, this is the first Christian pray for enemy bio. And I do join the conversation for my resident on the Bagu in this evening. Well, Sam Andrew, let me appreciate you for the topic on discussion. And I listened to the hearing from the Supreme Court yesterday. And I think from what I listened to from all of the justices and the Chief Justice in chamber yesterday during the hearing, I think it was clear. I listened to some of the justices and the Chief Justice from the former senator, former senator
Vani Sherman
yesterday, informing him that he after the ruling from the Supreme Court, he left with the authority to go back to his client to explain the ruling from the Supreme Court very well to his client, but he did not do so. So I think what we listened to yesterday is going to be clearly in favor of Fonati Kofa. And the reason why I listen to the justices asking for security is because these guys are involved into violence.
But man, the people can do anything. They can do anything to those people, but we can't dismiss that. We can't overlook. But they can do anything.
Yes, listen, you saw the speaker authorizing police officers to force me to lawmake car. If the speaker, if the soft clean or regime speaker can authorize police officers to force me to lawmaker car,
all right, Chief.
These people are
Thank you.
Here. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you for calling. To have a nice Thursday. Spice it up. Daniel Sano, everything you can say, whatever. Daniel Sano, whatever you can say. You and your boss man, Jeremy Pia, your big boss man, Bwaka, you can say any and everything against Weah. It will mean nothing. It will mean nothing. Well, we are get small brain, big brain, whatever. We are in an intellectual realm, so it will mean nothing. It just shows that you people have nothing of significance to tell the country. You're not explaining any developmental agenda to the people. You're not telling what Bwaka are doing, what you're doing on the side, where you're building road. You're even saying you go administer information that we are in your carry. So you continue to show to the world that we are is the man of this time, not Bwaka. We are is the man. He goes to have his press conference. He said, the former president's brain is as small as a mosquito, and we will keep reminding him of that. How come it be like Yeke? Because when you say something of Yeke, when you say something to Yeke, Yeke can carry to your boss man. But all of us know Bwaka and we are who in better state of mind and health and every other thing. Daniel Sando, please answer that question, because you said President, we are brain is as small as mosquito. So please tell us and compare the two. The man you defending. Please tell us, Daniel Sando. Your stop, man. Daniel Sando, I can understand it's your first time in public communication. So I know you're fighting to prove a point to Bwaka. But you are damaging yourself. You are damaging yourself. It will not help you. Not at all. Every day you go down there, you and Pia, that we are name you can carry. You let we are so much. We are made a statement. The man who say that people were in the executive want Bwaka to die so they will take over. You put that one on your platform. You afraid of the man. You're afraid of the man that we are New York can carry the Ministry of Information. But Chief, we will not sit back. You know why? We are is our boss man. This is WEA's institution. We work for WEA. So we will not say you're damaging, you're vilifying the boss character, and then we hail you or we mute ourselves. To mute ourselves is to endorse what you are saying against the boss. And that is not loyalty. Every time you bring anything out against WEA, we will face your head on. This is a warfare that we are in. This is a warfare, a political warfare, an intellectual warfare. And you can jitter, you're jittering when we call Boaka, Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, but you calling I say we are brain small as mosquito. Chief, I told you from the day your man made us statement referred to we are as common citizens will face your head on. This is a political warfare that we're in. Despite you people having the guns, having the torture chambers, having every other thing, but God is with us. Just as David used just a sling. You know that said that story in the Bible, Daniel, between David and Goliath. What did he say? He said, I come with nothing but who? God. We ain't get gonzo, we ain't get nothing, we ain't get any other thing, but we get God on our side. That you're in government, you have the guns, you have the torture chamber, NSA, you have every other thing at your disposal. But we have God with us. That's why we face the issues. We ain't go against your persons. We can never go against Boaka person. We face the issues. We intellectualize. And we do it with boldness and patriotism as well as nationalism. Because this country belongs to everybody. You can say whatever you think you can against we are. It means nothing. Because you know why? All of you are far below we are. Down to your boss man Boaka. Far below. Costa say he was feeding Boaka. He took Boaka to hospital. We know other one that your own Unity Party mentor he was feeding Boaka. You can tell that one. The thing your more can put more on we are. Chief, that the other people will remain silent. Every time you put more on we are. I'm sitting behind the microphone for that day. But when I'm aware of it, when I see it, I get hold of it, Chief, will react. We are is our boss. This is Weir's institution. Just as Punch FM will sit down over there and they say all kinds of damaging things against the opposition, Spoon, every other Unity Party radio station. So we have to react. That's a warfare we're in. And if you're allowed to reach to the point that we'll go personal, we'll go gutter with each other, we'll do it. We know some things about you. We know you. You don't may reach to the point that I will start talking something about you. You say your government officials and you're going, Chief, try Daniel Sando. And you know, and you said, and I'm your friend because, Chief, you be careful. The next time you talk, think about we are. And your boss man tired now, he now la. Embarrass himself. His character now he is in the mud. And he tired talking. And he's be putting more on we are. Today you go stand what I can't talk about. We are messed the country up. We are did this. We are did that. To show your government failed 1 year, few months, you got nothing to show. Everything you're giving the people is rhetoric or lies. Shame, corruption overwhelm you. You can talk about the corruption in your government everywhere. Today, your own man Martin Colley, and you're against Martin Colley. What Martin Colley? Martin exposing. Martin not exposing anything about we are. Martin exposing everything about Boaka government. The officials every day that your own man Martin was fighting we are for Boaka to come in. Boaka King, he said he has for the 2 years experience. Nothing going to be business as usual. Business now is the order of the day. It's the trademark of the government. You can talk those ones. The international community is aware of how corruption has taken over the government. Eminent sanction or sanction is looming on the government. The United States continue to give a hint. The 60 days giving your government to make amend. The 60 days gradually fading out. Your government is about to get into the orange category. And once you get into the orange category, there's every likelihood you will get into the red category, and Liberia will just be banned for everything. Sit down there, you'll be talking whole day that we are, you put in your mind. Everything we are, your door. You make we are your subject. Shielding the awful things that you're doing all over the place. You should be ashamed of yourself, Daniel Sano. You are sitting down over there. Who knew you? Yombli Kanga recommended you to go sit down over there. You are not being in communication. No reason why the Ministry of Information looking that kind of way. When they pin 1 billion and they put it all on Facebook, new Ministry of Information. How can Ministry of Information be new when you just painted? It's not the painting that new. New when you built. So the Ministry of Information, they go put it on Facebook, say new Ministry of Information on a PR. That development there. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. Zobo YouTube say Daniel Sano. Y'all lead a man. Y'all lead Daniel Sano. He ain't ready yet. Y'all take we have to be your problem, yeah? When it hit your heart, then y'all will know. Sanction coming for you're in the executive. Sanction coming for you in the legislature. And the American has started giving hint gradually. Giving hint. You can't do anything within 60 days. You can never. And they gave you 60 days to correct the passport issue and security concerns. The main thing is security concerns. The National Human Rights Commission, and it came up with widespread human rights violations. Those things, the American government and other countries around the world, they're receiving all of them. They say those are substantial. Those are, what the other words? But just say a clear evidence, justification for barring you from leaving your country to go into their country. Sanction coming on Bwaka officials, on the so-called legislators, both the Senate and the House of Representatives. You say that here, you say, and you say, oh, the opposition party, they're talking here. Everything we say, when we sit down behind our microphone, ain't kind of pass. AB told you what was going to happen with the speaker, and he told you every other thing, and it came to pass. And AB told you that the president of the University of Liberia before Bwaka appointed her, and the man told you that white woman will be president of the University of Liberia, and it came to pass. You sit down. Just sit down. For you to say, oh yeah, like in other countries, you know what the people can do? They can rely on the opposition to help the government. They don't see the opposition as being bad, or they create a buffer between them and the opposition. It is only in Liberia you see that. That's why it's hard for the government to succeed. You people were putting all kinds of damning things out about we are government. We're not doing that. Nobody. I even want people to be protesting again. Nobody will not do anything. When Bwaka do this, we're talking. United Party people do that. You're making the news. Nobody will incite anybody against the government. Nobody will do anything whatsoever. No, there will be no incitement. Opposition will do nothing. That's why you see all of the opposition lawmakers and the opposition politicians, CDC people, everybody, they remain within the ambit of the law. Nobody calling press conference or press conferences to incite. No, they're not doing any one of those things to incite anybody. They're operating within the ambit of the law. You exposing yourselves. As Unity Party exposes itself, then the opposition take it and discuss it. So nobody will go for anything or to incite anybody. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do that what will feed on? Okay, thank you, man. Thank you all. That's all the time we've got. The news is on at 6 this evening. King's Newsroom joining. And then at 8 is Face the Issues with Anthony at Law, Teacher Light, A.B. Wayon. You don't want to miss it. Another fascinating class will come on. I'm Sam Andrews. Shalom.